Heartbeat Alaska would like to thank the following sponsors for making our show possible. Brown's Electric. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support. Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Flying Service. Thank you, Frontier, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
One, two, three, four, let's go.
It's Heartbeat.
It's a fabulous show.
Alaska.
Hi, Heartbeat Alaska.
It's Heartbeat. Alaska.
Pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska. I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you so much for joining me. Every week we travel to remote villages across the north. It's the only program of its kind in the world. We travel to villages and share the lives of the good people who live there. On today's program, we travel to a village whose graveyard is just on the outskirts of town. We'll also visit a sod home, a traditional home, the way they used to live years and years ago. By the way, this village is also the northwestern point of the United States. Where are we going? Point Hope, Alaska, stomping grounds of my grandfather, Tony Jewell.
Point Hope is very unique in its own way, you know, when you see the whole picture written, when you get to know Point Hope and see how they interact amongst themselves, you know, their culture, their history, you know, being whale hunters for 2,500 years. The traditions that come with whaling is still practiced, how we mark a whale, how the different feasts, how the feast is done, the ceremonial grounds is passed down from generation to generation.
Point Hope is located near the tip of Point Hope Peninsula, a large gravel spit that forms the westernmost extension of the northwestern Alaskan coast, 330 miles southwest of Barrow.
Okay, we are heading farthest northwest you could go on North America here. It's a very western point of Point Hope. It's they say it's the farthest northwest in Alaska, and you know, it's also the farthest northwest in the North American continent. But we have a lot of currents, a lot of animals that come to our you know, ocean. A lot of currents. We have a lot of, we have seals, walrus, fish, whales, beluga.
By 1848, commercial whaling activities brought an influx of Westerners, many of whom employed Point Hope villagers. By the late 1880s, the whalers established shore-based whaling stations, such as Jabbertown. These disappeared with the demise of whaling in the early 1900s. In the early 1970s, the village moved to a new site just east of the old village because of erosion and periodic storm surge flooding. Most of the housing was moved on runners to the new site. New houses were constructed by the borough and individuals. Today, the erosion problem is at the forefront of Point Hope's concerns.
They moved Point Hope in 1976 and 77 because of the flooding out towards the point. And as you see, you could see the ocean in the background. When I was growing up here, you couldn't even see the ocean. It's eroding fast. That's one problem we have here in Point Hope. We have an erosion problem that's taking away a lot of our history. Right now, what's left is only about 3% of this village of Tikiak. 97% is out in the ocean. For many years, we have tried to get the senators and governors to help support Point Hope in fighting this erosion problem that we have. And for many years, we tried to stop it, and we still see open areas, and we still see our land being taken away by the ocean. We haven't gotten any funding. In the years past, they always said that there was, in order to have money to stop an erosion, you had to have something valuable. Well, back in the old days, it was sod houses. This to me is priceless. Having these old ceremonial whaling grounds, we've been here for thousands of years. This is a priceless area that is, we're the oldest continuing inhabitants on North America, and we're seeing it washed away before our very eyes.
Erosion is not a problem specific to Point Hope. All along the Alaska Peninsula, erosion is threatening many Native communities. But even closer to home, Point Hope is dealing with the loss of their people due to circumstances beyond their control.
We still have a lot of health issues that we're trying to take care of. A high rate of cancer, stuff like that. And we have young people dying of cancer. We always heard of Project Chariot. The Army was here in the 50s. They did a bunch of tests. They did the iodine 131. They wanted to do an atomic bomb explosion over by Cape Thompson to build a deep water harbor.
The underwater atomic detonation met resistance by locals, but other military testing is believed to be one of the causes of the high rates of cancer in Point Hope.
A lot of our elders died of cancer, a lot of our young people, a few of our young people. I had a good buddy at the age of 29 that passed away of stomach cancer. We had a young girl at 20-something that died of cancer. I could probably go through this graveyard, and there's quite a few of them that should have lived a longer life but didn't due to cancer. A lot of our elders that were still kind of young that died of cancer.
Whale bones serve as monuments for those who have passed on, reminders of a tie to the land and waters that have been a part of their culture forever.
It's a whalebone graveyard of the Point Hope people. The Point Hope people buried their people above ground like the Indians on whalebone racks. Their belongings would be below them. Their stuff that was real vital throughout their survival in the Arctic. Their bows, their arrows, their harpoon, their walking stick they would knock, their knives. They would break them down below and break them and lay them below them, so that when he died, that that the spirit went free with him.
Don't go away now. Point Hope resident Steve has much more to tell us about Point Hope, Alaska. Each week,
Heartbeat Alaska brings you great stories from all over the state. And we couldn't do it without the generous support of Frontier Flying Service. Frontier gets our camera crews where they need to go. So whenever you see a Frontier plane, give them a wave.
Say hi from Nuxet.
You might just be on Heartbeat Alaska.
Frontier Flying Service, covering Alaska for over 50 years.
On your next visit to Anchorage, be sure to stay at the Creekwood Inn and RV Park. Now under new management, the Creekwood Inn offers 26 newly renovated rooms and a cabin that sleeps 6. If you're in town for an event, the Creekwood Inn is the nearest hotel to the Sullivan Arena. The Creekwood Inn also has 68 RV spaces available year-round and offers winter RV storage with water, electric, sewer, and cable. The Creekwood Inn and RV Park is a proud sponsor of the Iditarod Fur Rendezvous and the Alaska Fighting Championships. So the next time you're in Anchorage, visit us at the Creekwood Inn and RV Park.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
It's that time of year again to pull out the cameras and send us those Christmas greetings from your village for our Heartbeat Alaska Christmas special. We can accept mini DV, SVHS, or VHS. Send your Christmas greetings to Jeannie Green Productions, 536 Bonanza Avenue, Suite A, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518. Let's keep the Christmas spirit alive and the heartbeat tradition going.
The whalebones, when you see them, they catch your eye, and everything is just, you wonder, in the back of your mind, how it was and how they did, how they survived in this harsh environment. Being whale hunters for 2,500 years, the traditions that come with whaling is still practiced. You're talking a lot of history here, a lot of whales, a lot of culture. I was born in a wooden sod house that they were moving out of the whalebone sod house in 1962, May. But I have a lot of memories there. I mean, these are all whale jaw bones. 2 bones is 1 whale. Oh, you're talking probably 30 whales in there. I grew up with my grandparents quite a bit. Went fishing with them quite a bit. It was very healthy. There wasn't that much drugs and alcohol here. The main foods that was in our store, we didn't have very much candy. We didn't have very much junk food.
It was a life that was based on subsistence, whale, seal, and whatever the earth could provide. Today, however, that lifestyle is changing as the earth warms.
The Tikiakmi people are like, we live in a cycle, we've always done things in this certain cycle of hunting at different seasons, hunting different animals to prepare for that time when we're out on the ice, to make sure we have enough skins to keep warm, to have enough food to spend time out on the ice, and animals that we prepared, like the ugruk skin, to put on our skin boats. But we see this change that is coming before us. It's like the weather is changing, the currents are changing, we're seeing different things washing up on our beaches where we notice the ice isn't as thick as it is. And we also see the currents, they say the currents are gonna change, and what is it gonna do for us? It's gonna bring different animals to us. What is it gonna do with the existing animals that come to us already? Are gonna be animals coming from other places, or You know, we notice that it takes longer for our ocean to freeze. You know, in the fall time, it's later. You know, it's sometimes in late October, early November. I mean, that's late. You know, to finally get ice. We have open water in December sometimes. You know, sometimes even in February they seen whales in February when we don't actually see them till April. I mean, we're talking a couple months earlier. And I know, you know, there should be some studies done on the climate change in the Arctic, which is probably a big thing right now. I've heard it in the news of global warming and what it's doing to the Arctic and the ice pack and everything else. But here in Point Hope, we do see a lot of changes. We do feel it, and we're concerned about it.
Concerns include whether or not future generations will be able to continue traditions, or will the people of Point Hope have to move with the whales? These are all ongoing concerns of residents, concerns that will take time to answer.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures hear below. Praise Him above the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Holy
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
It's that time of year again to pull out the cameras and send us those Christmas greetings from your village for our Heartbeat Alaska Christmas special. We can accept mini DV, SVHS, or VHS. Send your Christmas greetings to Jeannie Green Productions, 536 Bonanza Avenue, Suite A, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518. Let's keep the Christmas spirit alive and the heartbeat tradition going.
On your next visit to Anchorage, be sure to stay at the Creekwood Inn and RV Park. Now under new management, the Creekwood Inn offers 26 newly renovated rooms and a cabin that sleeps 6. If you're in town for an event, the Creekwood Inn is the nearest hotel to the Sullivan Arena. The Creekwood Inn also has 68 RV spaces available year-round and offers winter RV storage with water, electric, sewer, and cable. The Creekwood Inn and RV Park is a proud sponsor of the Iditarod Fur Rendezvous and the Alaska Fighting Championships. So the next time you're in Anchorage, visit us at the Creekwood Inn and RV Park.
At first, I wasn't ready to be a father. I wasn't sure what to do, and I wasn't very patient.
Parenting can be hard for everyone at some point. You don't have to be perfect. And if you have questions, call the Alaska Parent Line. When you listen, talk, and play with your kids, science has proven that their brains will develop more fully than kids living in fear. Listen, talk, play, and be a brain builder.
Every child deserves to feel safe and secure. Please help prevent child abuse and neglect in Alaska.
Once upon a time, there was a wise man who built his house in the Northland where it's cold, where the wind blows, but he had a Toyo stove.
The Toyo Stove Laser 60 AT with the wood fireplace design is the perfect direct vent heating system for your home. A force flue pipe design for venting results in maximum efficiency, and a large circulation fan distributes clean heat quickly and evenly throughout your house.
Papa, you're the wise man. You have a Toyo stove.
Ariga.
The Point Hope people go through a cycle. there's a cycle of life that we have that's been a cycle for us for thousands of years, hundreds of years. There's always something to do every month. There's always something to prepare for, whether it's hunting the ugruk skins and preparing the skins, hunting the ugruk for our skin boats, for our food supply, for our meat, preparing the ice cellars, catching the fish, picking berries. Every month there's always something that is hunted in order for us to prepare for the dark months, for the winter, for the cold nights, for the feasts that will happen, for the celebrations, for of the whale and all the animals, the gift of everything. During the dark months, we have a lot of games of endurance, of strength, and sharing and giving and feeding each other. The food that we got off from the land, the ocean, the sky, the respect for all God's creations, for without them we wouldn't be who we are.
The Fun Run, an annual race to kick off the new school year. Contestants of all ages compete in the Fun Run, including elders who compete in the gag race, where the #1 place winner receives a broken TV remote. This Fun Run, from September 2005, was followed by an award ceremony and potluck, where locals came together for feasting and dancing. After the awards were handed out, the drumming began.
Be strong in who you are, know your culture, know your history, know your grandparents or your parents' songs and dances. Don't let them die with them. When they go, some people don't dance them, and they lose those songs because nobody dances as we don't sing them. And a lot of the songs are dying because some of their families don't dance. And that's why we always, we go in school and we want the students to know where they come from, know who they are. We're one of the oldest continuous inhabitants on North America. We've been doing this for thousands of years. Don't let this generation lose it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me for Heartbeat Alaska. I'm Jeannie Green. I'd love to hear from you. Why don't you call me? And hey, if you're in town Christmas shopping or just plain old shopping and you recognize me, won't you come up and say hello? I'd love to meet you and find out where you're from. Also, I'd like to convince you to run home and get your camcorder out and get me greetings. Please do. We still have time. Get your camcorder out and get me greetings. Christmas hellos from your village. God bless every one of you. I'll see you again next week.
30 miles off the coast of Alaska in the Bering Sea lies Nunivak Island, home to the Chupik people of Makoyak. We recently received a tip that one of Santa's reindeer, Rudolph, was vacationing on Nunivak Island visiting relatives. With Christmas so close, we thought we better travel out to Nunivak Island to remind Rudolph that millions of children were depending on him to guide Santa's sleigh across the world. With nearly 4,000 reindeer roaming the island, this would be no easy task. Wait a minute. Did you see that? I'm not sure, but I think I just saw Rudolph. There's only one reindeer I know that has a bright red nose. That must be Rudolph. It looks like Rudolph got the message and is heading towards the North Pole with a new recruit. Don't worry, kids. It looks like all is well this Christmas season.
I'm waiting because I don't want to get a disease.
I have a future ahead of me, and I don't want to mess up my life.
If my husband asks me if he's a first, I want to say yes.
Yes. Because I respect myself. I have so much going for me. A child would only slow me down.
I'm trying to break a cycle.
Sex is a very special thing I only want to share with one person.
There are too many consequences. STDs.
The union between two people.
I would always regret it.
I'm protecting my heart.
Waiting doesn't make you less of a man.
I'm waiting because it's the most precious gift I can give.
There are two sides to a man. One side is the animal, nothing but selfish pleasure. You know, the kind of man that leaves women and children alone. But the other side, now that's honorable. It's a part of you that desires to do what's right and always do your best. When you make a decision to wait to have sex, you've chosen honor. You've chosen not to expose anyone to pregnancy or disease. Because you're more than just sperm and child support. You're a man, not animal or honorable. What side controls you?
Dad, Mom, I want you to be proud of me. Tell me what you expect when it comes to sex.
When it comes to sex, I need you to talk seriously with me, but I also need you to listen to me. I need you to help me with the words I need to say no.
No. I need an out.
There is just no way I can make you really understand how often sex comes up.
How much pressure is there? It's constant.
It's constant.
It's constant.
And most of all, you need to know that the pressure's on me already.